Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright.
2 NHRL recaps in 1 year? How did we get the funding for this?
I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
Welcome back! And for those of you new here, NHRL is the National Havoc Robot League, and it is the largest combat robotics competition in the world. They host events every month, and the top 4 robots at each event qualifies for the World Championships in December. Last time you saw us compete at the February event with 4 of our 30-pound robots from iRobotics, the UIUC Combat Robotics team, and 2 of those robots were able to qualify for the World Championships. This time, for the June event, we're bringing 3 of our 30-pound robots. 2 familiar faces that you've seen before at the February event, and 1 newcomer, which is a completely new robot that we spent all year working on. From the February event, we're bringing back Undertaker and Whack. Undertaker is a 4-wheel drive egg beater style robot, and although it has already qualified for Worlds at the February event, its driver and builder, Justin, decided to bring it to the June event to stress test it before Worlds. Whack, on the other hand, was unable to qualify for Worlds at the February event. It is the only Thagomizer in the 30-pound weight class, and it's hoping to qualify for Worlds at this June event so that it can prove that it belongs in this weight class.
And now for a newcomer, Killswitch, whose fabulous shirt I'm wearing right now. Built by the Junior Combat Robotics team, the same team that built Bunny Holly.
There's also...
whose absolutely fabulous chassis you can see here, and it just has stuff dangling out of it. Killswitch is a much more capable robot. Killswitch uses a shuffler drive system to move. What this means is that rather than having wheels, it has 3 shuffler pads on each side of the robot that rotate out of alignment and scuttle along the floor. The shufflers earn the robot a 15-pound weight bonus, which gives us just enough weight to slap a giant 10-pound weapon on the front. As this is Killswitch's NHRL debut, we don't have too many high expectations for it, but we would love to get into the elimination bracket. In between the February and June NHRL events, Undertaker, Whack, and Killswitch actually competed at a 3rd secret event called Robo Brawl, which you can see right here. Robo Brawl is the largest 30-pound combat robotics competition in North America, and we actually host it here at the University of Illinois every April. And although all 3 of these robots weren't able to win Robo Brawl this year, they dealt some massive hits.
And that's more carnage, and Goose flying into the wall! You can barely hear yourself think with the roar of Whack's weapon. And what? What's that? Oh, pursuing! It is unbelievable! And another roof shot! Stay down! Stay down!
And we hope to be able to replicate something like that at NHRL. This June NHRL event is the first event this whole year where all 16 30-pound slots are filled, and the competition is stacked. There's Phenomenon, a formidable vertical spinner that won the June 2024 event, and Red Storm, a control bot notorious for attacking the house bots, and won the September 2023 event. Georgia Tech is bringing Anxiety, a very scary undercutter that just recently won the April NHRL event, and it's bringing a giant new overhead spinner, Apache, which looks absolutely horrible to fight against. And out of Team Pandemonium are Synthesis 30 and Overlord, both 2 very formidable vertical spinners. Now, which of these robots do you think Killswitch has to fight in its very first NHRL match? It was none of them. Remember in the February NHRL event where I said we had to face Chonkiv, and how Chonkiv won 10 out of the 11 matches it fought in last year, and only lost on the grand finals of the World Championships? Yeah, well, the robot that beat it is the one that Killswitch is fighting in its first match. The first robot we are fighting is the one and only Megatron. Oh my god. Oh geez. Oh boy. Ugh. For some quick context, Megatron is built by Jameson Go, and this guy is is kind of insane. Not only did he win BattleBot's World Championship 7, like he won the BattleBots TV show with his 250-pounder Sawblaze, but he has also won in every single one of the three weight classes at NHRL. He's won with his 3-pound Silent Spring, his 12-pound Seiko, and his 30-pound Megatron, more than anyone else has ever won in the history of NHRL. So once we found out that Killswitch's first fight was against Megatron, I kid you not, there was a 2-day-long discussion on what we should do in this first match. But to summarize, we basically have two options on what we can do against this first fight against Megatron. The first one is an air gap. Basically, what you can do is, when you're facing a hammer saw, or any overhead attack robot for that matter, you can put a sacrificial plate right on top of your actual plate. And it'll go directly over it, but it won't sit directly on top, because the best armor is air. You want to have a little bit of a spacer in between your top plates. So if an overhead attack robot were to hit you here, it would hopefully be stopped by this first one, and even if it did get through it, it would still have to go through all of the air in between this sacrificial plate and your actual top plate. Now, we ran this at Robo Brawl against USC's Athon. Unfortunately, our sacrificial plate and our air gap didn't do too well. So what we decided to do for June NHRL is to increase that air gap almost double. Unfortunately, what happens is with our new increased air gap, we can't drive upside down. Here's our sacrificial plate, here is our increased spacer in between the sacrificial plate and our actual top plate. And as you can see, our shufflers can't actually touch the ground when we're upside down. Now, normally this wouldn't be a problem, because overhead attack robots it's very difficult for them to flip you over. Here's where our second crazy idea comes in. Remember how I said we had a 10-pound weapon? This monstrosity means we can do something crazy and spin downwards. Because our weapon is almost twice as heavy as any other robot's weapon, it means we can spin downwards and hopefully crack their weapon before it does any real or serious damage to our weapon. Now, we tried to test this during Robo Brawl against our fight with Goose. And another thing that we saw was that not only does spinning downwards mean we can do a lot of damage to other robots' weapons, but it also means we can basically rip out their forks. Now, against an overhead attack robot, being able to do any damage to their forks is a major win. And having something like this, where we could maybe spin downwards and do any sort of damage to Megatron's forks, would be a big plus for us. Unfortunately, during that same fight against Goose, we spun a lot.
Coming into the center, Goose coming to meet him. Weapon on weapon! Sparks flying everywhere! Weapon on weapon again!
Now you see why us adding that 1-inch air gap over there can be kind of problematic if we want to spin downwards, because what happens if we end up upside down and then we're just a turtle on its shell? Now, there was a lot of deliberation put behind this decision. We could either go for the less risky option and just run our 1-inch air gap and spin upwards against Megatron, or we could not run an air gap at all, which is kind of crazy against a overhead attacker, and try to spin downwards, meaning we could maybe get an edge, but it would be very risky for us. But you only get to fight the world champion every so often, so you might as well go the risky route. Let's see how that went.
But he's going up against Jacob Painter and Killswitch. This is a shuffler drum robot from Urbana, Illinois. This is their first time here. And it's a single cam shuffler mechanism. And it's a single cam shuffler mechanism. Really cool robot.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, not a great way to start. You were pinned and you were hit right on the hub of the weapon. So not on the weapon itself, but the actual hub where a lot of the control mechanisms and possibly belt drive for the weapon is. Just got smacked by the weapon on Jameson Go's Megatron.
He is just picking his spots pinning him against the
Yeah,
corner.
that's the belt right there. That's Gonzo.
Wow.
I believe that was the weapon belt for Killswitch. So right off the bat, just chop the belt off. No more threat from Killswitch. He can pick his shots.
Wow.
Another hit right into that same location at the hub of the weapon motor. And there is smoke. I believe that's coming from JMO, actually.
Yeah. So we may have overestimated Killswitch's abilities a little bit, and also severely underestimated how good JMO is at driving. Although our planning didn't result in anything exciting, it was still good information. We found out Killswitch's spin-up time was much too slow, and we were able to fix that for our upcoming matches and get that tuned in during our first match. And even though Megatron did end up smoking out at the end of the fight after it had already tapped out, realistically, we probably would have lost even if we didn't tap out, and we didn't want to risk damaging any of our internal electronics. In the next fight, Undertaker faces Demon Core, a very scary melty brain that uses its whole chassis as its weapon, spinning around in circles extremely fast so it can dish out massive hits. Let's see how Undertaker will fare against that.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal. Tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non,
Undertaker
je ne
placed
regrette
second in
rien.
February's event and showing
C'est
why right now. There he goes again.
balayé, oublié. Je
To the cushy nougat center, it's gonna take some work.
They're lining up.
Le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Car ma vie, car mes joies, aujourd'hui, ça commence avec toi.
Man, I love watching Undertaker fight. Justin's such a good but aggressive driver, and he always puts on a good show. And props to Demon Core too. They were able to get a fully functional 30-pound melty brain working in the arena, and that's just amazing to see how much work that they put into that, and then it actually works in the match. The next fight up is Whack against a wide drum robot called Terminator, coming out of the University of Florida's Combat Robotics team. Let's see how Whack does. Hey, for the first 30 seconds, Whack's drive was fully functional and it actually looked like a Thagomizer. Unfortunately, on one of the hits, Terminator caught Whack's fork and bent it underneath the robot, causing Whack to get high-centered and stuck on the floor, and eventually counted out of the match. But it still has 2 more chances to make it to the elimination bracket, so it's not out for the count just yet. However, Undertaker might be. After he shattered its weapon shaft in half in the Demon Core fight, Justin decided to weld the shaft back together, and he's hoping that the weapon shaft will stay intact in his next fight against Georgia Tech's Apache, a very scary overhead spinner. Let's see if it holds. Oh boy, when those weapons spun up for the first time, I was scared but so excited for the fight to come. That fight had everything. Big hits, dry failures, and my personal favorite, sparks. You could see at the end that both Justin and Georgia Tech were having so much fun just ramming their robots into each other, which is what I love so much about combat robotics, is that you can make fun out of any situation. Eventually, Apache did get counted out, which means Justin and Undertaker move on to the elimination bracket. Now, unfortunately, the way the qualifiers are set up, Whack and Killswitch have to fight next. Whoever wins gets to move on, but whoever loses goes home empty-handed.
I didn't even see the name. I saw him in the pits. I said, oh, it looks like a switch. And they said, well, it's Killswitch. There you go.
3, 2, 1, fight. Robots fight.
Robots are going to fight for 3 minutes until someone is knocked out or someone taps out.
The room is rumbling right now with the feet from Killswitch.
Love it. It's thunderous. Not a lot of spin on the weapon for Whack.
No, I wonder if they're kind of keeping it in their pocket for now. A lot of these style of robots don't always spin up right out of the gate.
And they showed Killswitch their broadside, and it cost them. They are now inverted. Their weapon is spinning, though. Whack doing a triple gainer there.
Yeah, Whack is having maneuverability issues here, stuck on their head. Wheels don't seem to be touching the ground. Killswitch getting the pin here. They'll have to release it soon. They've released it, and I think Whack is requesting the unstick. Yep.
Here comes Floop. Everyone gets 1 unstick attempt per match.
Yeah, if this does succeed, they wouldn't be able to ask for another one. It would just be counted out. If it doesn't succeed, they'll just be counted out now. Doesn't look like Whack is able to touch the ground. I wonder if they're stuck on debris. It does seem like part of their armor package is hanging off there. There's a belt there in the corner of the arena, which would have been powering the weapon. And that is a tough way to lose the fight. You see your wheels spinning in free air, unable to reach the ground. Count out happening in the background. This is going to be a knockout victory for Killswitch.
All right.
Quite the performance. Killswitch drove perfectly against the Thagomizer style robot, able to hit the wedge, avoid the Whack, flip them over when they were given the opportunity, and that was that.
As a junior on Killswitch's team, that fight was pretty fun, as we basically just got to give Whack a new paint job and then set them home. Unfortunately, what happened during that fight was when Whack got flipped over, one of its bolts drove itself out of its hole and got Whack high-centered again, very similar to the Terminator fight, and counted out. Now, that was pretty unfortunate, as I would have loved a more even and more destructive fight, but that does mean that the senior team and Whack are 0-2 and officially out of the tournament. However, Killswitch has 1 loss against Megatron and 1 win against Whack, meaning it just needs 1 more win and it can get to the elimination bracket. By sheer luck, their next opponent, Jump Rope, forfeited their next match, which means that Killswitch is now 2-1 and joins Undertaker in the Elims. Killswitch and Undertaker ended up being on opposite sides of the elimination bracket, which means that there's a possibility of an iRobotics finals match. The first match of the elimination bracket is Killswitch versus Professor Wasp, a vertical spinner that was able to defeat Synthesis 30. Now, if Killswitch wins this fight, that means it gets top 4 at this event and will end up qualifying for the World Championships.
Let's see if they can keep it going. Ooh, big punch right to the face from Killswitch. The weapon on Professor Wasp is not up to speed.
Killswitch really having their way here with Professor Wasp just unable to do anything right now against that weapon, tearing off the entire side pen.
This is a tremendous amount of damage. Each one of these little hits just beating the ever-loving snot out of Professor Wasp. They're calling for an unstick right away, and you know what? Killswitch says, buzz off! Flo, I don't need any of your interruption.
I can give him an unstick.
Don't tell me not to play with my food.
Oh! The crowd reacting to these big hits as Professor Wasp goes bouncing off the glass.
Yeah, Killswitch delivering a punishment on Professor Wasp.
Oh. Weapon on Killswitch here, spinning down a little bit. There we go, back up to speed.
Driver, a lot of intensity here. That is not where they want to be, but the weapon is now working on Professor Wasp again. They're spinning up fast.
Killswitch is gonna back off here. No more unsticks are available, but Professor Wasp is showing a little bit of movement.
And just enough not to get counted out. I don't know, this is right on the edge.
Oh.
Big weapon-to-weapon engagements.
Professor Wasp.
Wow, look at that! 4 pieces went flying. That weapon is toast on Professor Wasp.
Killswitch is just waiting for all the right moments to come in. Another pin. So many big hits. Hear the crowd pounding the pins down.
That is your fight, robot fans. Jacob Painter with Killswitch put on an absolute clinic.
Killswitch with that victory is going to make it into the semifinals tonight and also punch their ticket to the World Championships in December.
That fight really showed why we call this robot Killswitch. Man, was that fun to watch. And it means that Killswitch qualified for the World Championships, which is better than we could have ever hoped. Another thing this fight did show us, though, is that Killswitch can break other robots' weapons by spinning downwards. In that last hit, we were spinning downwards and Professor Wasp was spinning upwards, which showed that due to the forces of contradictory rotations, our weapon can take and not break from the forces of that hit, whereas other robots can't and they will break. This is very good information for the future, and we will hope to put it to good use, especially at Worlds. But now let's see how Undertaker does in his quarterfinal fight against the vertical spinner Overlord.
Two big hitters here. You know, Undertaker, by the records, by the ranking coming into today, would have to be the favorite, but I think Overlord here could score the upset.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Let's go. Wow! Wow, big hits.
Both robots still fully up to speed as the kinetic energy is insane in the box.
A triple flip. There is so much energy in these robots. Anything could happen. There's a big hit, and smoke has started to erupt from Undertaker and from Overlord. Both of these robots.
Undertaker's weapon looks like it is completely dented in after that hit. What a massive hit as Overlord is requesting an unstick.
Yeah, the left-hand drive on Overlord took some massive damage. The right hand, not much better, but the entire chassis has been bent up.
Both robots barely able to move after this. They're both bent. They're both having drive issues. You can see Overlord has lost the left-hand side.
Undertaker being very cautious. Their weapon isn't spinning, but they seem to be able to drive.
The chunks shaking out of these weapons. Undertaker and Overlord just shoving each other slowly around the arena.
Now the geometry here of Undertaker is going to favor them. They're going to be much more effective at pushing their opponent around. Plus a better functioning drive system. This should be Undertaker's game to win. They need to show control. They need to show aggression, since damage is mostly out of the question at this point.
Yeah, you can see the belts on Overlord are all sorts of wrong positions. Smoke still coming out of Undertaker.
That is one unhappy motor and perhaps the electronics that drive it.
Now the pins here can only be held for 10 seconds. You have to release. You can see Undertaker backing off, and Overlord now seems to be stuck, and they're getting counted out.
They've already used their unstick. This is gonna be it for Overlord. Your winner, Undertaker.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy, Justin, holy cow. Sometimes I think you'd put too much power into that robot and that weapon. Oh goodness, usually when there's smoke in a combat robotics fight, it has something to do with like there's an electrical issue or there's a fire or something. Not in that fight. Oh my. Undertaker's weapon belts got so hot that they quite literally melted into the weapon pulley. That's insane. Luckily, in that same hit, Overlord's weapon belt also jumped off that pulley. So with both weapons down and Justin's driving skills, he was able to win the match and move on to the semifinals. However, in the semifinals, he would be facing a familiar face, Megatron. And with all of the damage that he took in that Overlord fight, well, here's what he has to say.
We have Justin of Undertaker. What happened before the fight?
Before the fight, really, just everything broke. The weapon broke, motors broke. Everything's broken. I won't have time to repair it in time.
So unfortunate, it's the first bummer of the night, it's a forfeit, so I mean, what do you take away from this?
Now I know what to do to improve my robot. For example, the weapon shaft, I need to make it thicker. I need to make sure that it's mounted properly. It actually bent right over here. If you see where the bearing is in between the slits, it's very crooked. That would require me to take the right upright off. It would require me to re-weld it. This is actually the second time it's been re-welded today. So it's just going to be a lot of work, and it's no time to really get it ready for the match.
And with that, Killswitch is the last UIUC team standing in the elimination bracket. Let's see if they can win their semifinal fight against the menacing Red Storm.
Jacob Painter out of Urbana, Illinois. The beater bar is extremely destructive. It's brand new. Nobody knows what it's gonna do. Sitting at 3-1 on the day. This would be a huge upset
I think
win.
it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Kevin off to a quick start. He does not want his opponent to spin that weapon up, but it's too late, Kevin.
I can feel the weapon.
Oh, look at that incredible driving from Kevin getting around the back.
Great shot of the shufflers there on Killswitch, giving them a 50% weight bonus. 45 pounds of Killswitch in the arena right now.
This is incredible driving from Kevin. This is textbook Red Storm, textbook control robot, exactly what you want to do. Turn your robot around, turn your opponent around rather, force them into a wall and get them to damage themselves.
Oh! Great hit from Killswitch as Red Storm on their heels now. Both of these drivers so aggressive, taking advantage of any opportunity they're given. One of Red Storm's wheels is shattered and laying on the ground.
Yeah, they do have 4 wheels, but that's not a whole lot of extra life when you're going up against someone like Killswitch.
2 minutes to go. Both robots still going strong. Kevin is really dialed in this robot.
He really, really has. It's not just great driving, this is great design. The geometry of those front forks, perfect for manipulating your opponent and delivering these kind of pins.
Not just forks, so much effort has gone into those wheels. Those have cleats on them, basically little saw blades digging into the wood floor for maximum traction. Killswitch doesn't care about that as it sends Red Storm flying.
Incredible look, getting a little lift under its belt as it drives over its own wheels.
Great pin here from Killswitch, keeping Red Storm against the wall.
This is still anyone's game.
Red Storm might need to request an unstick here.
They're doing their best, but I think this is unstick territory.
And if they request it, Red Storm is going to get hit by Killswitch.
Yep. Red Storm not yet free. This is not the best place for them to be, but they're free now.
Oh, and right back into the aggression. 30 seconds left, trying to leave a mark.
Turnabout is free prey, a nice little lift.
Who's going to leave that final mark on the judges? What are they going to think as they go into their scorecards?
Look at that weapon of Red Storm locked into the weapon of Killswitch. That keeps them from spinning up.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to spin up later at the weapon check. If that weapon's not working, that could be huge.
This will be going to the judges, and look, Red Storm is not moving for a moment anyway.
Oh! Full mobility. I think that fight lived up to what we all expected. 2 extremely durable, extremely aggressive drivers and robots.
Listen, we have to call out Jacob Painter here. This robot is brand new, going up against one of the best drivers and most experienced robot builders here today in Kevin Milcheski. The fact that this brand new robot can go toe-to-toe and nobody knows what's going to happen with this judge's decision, that is incredibly impressive.
Absolutely wild performance out of a rookie robot going against Red Storm. Red Storm has had so much success here.
I am pumped.
no matter what happens, both drivers can be proud. Both teams can be proud of what they did here today. That was an insane fight.
This is a surprise to us. We don't even know. Red Storm
Red
across
Storm.
the board. Wow, look at that. A 9, 11, and a 12. That's a bit of a spread.
That was another nerve-wracking fight. They drove really, really well. They had me on the ropes for part of it, right? I got stuck on the wall. I had to use my on stick, you know. And then towards the very, very end of the fight, my battery ran out. So that was, I didn't know how the judges were going to deal with that. It sounds like they didn't count it as complete damage to the robot, which I probably would have. Yeah, another all of the fights were so close.
Funnily enough, when we saw the list of teams competing at June, the one robot that we really wanted to fight was Red Storm. The way that Kevin Milczewski was able to drive so efficiently and effectively, and control the match so well, and even flip over house spots in his past fights really inspired us. And we really wanted to see if we could spin downwards and rip out his forks too. Just getting to a judge's decision was such an amazing outcome for us against such a great robot. Near the end of the fight, our weapon stopped spinning due to our weapon ESC overheating. We have had this problem in the past, specifically at Robo Brawl, and we hope to implement a fix to this problem by Worlds. But with that being said, that's all of the UAUC teams out for the count. Kevin Milczewski and Red Storm went on to beat Jameson Go and Megatron in the finals, winning the whole event, which was amazing to see. But it would have been really funny if we had a Killswitch Megatron rematch in the finals. We had such a great time at this event, and we're so happy to get Killswitch qualified for Worlds. Seeing all of the kids with their hand-drawn signs for Killswitch makes us want to make this spot even better and maybe go all the way at Worlds. As for WAC, don't worry, the seniors have one last thing up their sleeves. Thank you again so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and finally, do you robotics? So Justin and Undertaker, for some quick context, Megatron is built by Jameson. I feel like that's an omen.